Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Dan and today we're going to be over about 7 reasons why the Canon 90D that I buy now is the best wildlife camera that you can buy for 1,200 US. So let's get started. Could gain from being a bit nicer, knowing to talk and when to shut your mouth. Feel so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes. You'll be just... Okay, so 2 weeks ago I bought this camera for 1,000 US using and I came from using in the Canon 70D, which is a camera with 20 megapixel who came out in 2013. And in the last 2 weeks I photographed birds, capybaras, crocodiles, coatis, and foxes. Reason number 1, this camera have a 32 megapixel sensor. The only more cameras with a crop sensor that have a 32 megapixel is the Canon M6 Mark II and the Canon R7. So this is golden for wildlife photographer like us who want that megapixel with even a crop sensor, which means that a 300mm lens like here, from 300 it jumps to 480 millimeters because you have to multiply 300 times 1.6. This is the crop factor of sensor of APS-C of Canon. 300 times 1.6 and then you get 480 millimeters. That is awesome for other photographer like me. So with 32 megapixels I can do a lot of things. I can crop a lot in the image and still have a very quality image. So this is the reason number 1, and now let's go to reason number 2. Reason number 2, it is 4K resolution. Now, if you know, most of Canon cameras which have 4K in 24 frames per second, but it's cropped. You know that camera like the Canon M50 with crop on the image. So with this crop factor of camera, if you which is 1.6, so if you use a lens like 18mm lens, okay, 18mm lens, so it's cropped to 28.8 because you have to multiply like in the 300mm lens 18 times 1.6 and then you get 28.8. So this is with the crop factor. So with the cameras that have a crop in 4K footage, it's even done 28.8, it's gonna be like 34mm lens. You don't want that. So in this camera the 4K is not crop. It's not crop. You can shoot a 4K 24 or 30 frames per second without crop. And you also have a crop settings that just for case you're shooting a wildlife footage and you need some extra reach. So you have this 4K and this is golden for wildlife photographer and for vlogging. Okay, for vlogging and for wildlife photographer. Reason number 3, you need to hear that before because it's pretty awesome. Let's see. 10 frames per second. That is awesome because if we shoot these birds flying by or that eagles or that vultures flying by, we can shoot it in 10 frames per second for a long time, 10 frames per second. That is awesome. So if you use a SD card like a program 64 gigabyte, this you can shoot it for a longer time. And if you shoot JPEG, so it can be more than if you shoot RAW. I shoot RAW, but I think this is the best option to shoot RAW. So you have a 10 frames per second. In my old camera, in the Canon 70D, I could shoot only 7 frames per second. So here I add a 10 frames per second. That is awesome for me and for other wildlife photographer or sports photographer. Reason number 4 is video quality. Now, we talk about the 4K resolution, but there is something else that I need to show you. This camera have a 4K in 24, 30 frames per second, and you have a 1080p in 24, 30, 60, and 120 frames per second. And oh, this is awesome because I can shoot these birds, these things that move very fast in slow motion. So this is awesome. But if you shoot the slow motion video, so you have two things that this camera is take away from you. You don't have sounds. She don't record the sounds, and you don't have autofocus. But before you press on the button here of record, you have autofocus, so you can focus with the camera. You can focus on what you want. If they're on the bird, or I don't know what. So you can focus on them before you press on the button record. You can see in the screen, and then when you press on the button record, you don't have autofocus, but you can do a manual focus, and there is a lot of things that help you. And if you don't have a sound, doesn't matter, because also in the phones, if you use your slow motion in your phone, you also don't have autofocus, so it is also not too bad that you don't have sound. Reason number 5. The ergonomics on this camera are awesome. You have your wheel, you have your 8-direction joystick, you have your top backlit LCD screen, you have its flippy screen, you have your total access to the side with mic input, you have a touch screen. Reason number 6, it's very good. If you are a wildlife photographer and you want a camera that is weather sealed, this camera is weather sealed, so you don't need to worry about to take this camera with you out to the snow, out to the water. So this camera will probably survive the conditions with you. Reason number 7, the battery life in this camera are awesome. You can take a 1,300 shots per battery. This is the LPE6N. I have 2 of this, of the LPE6N, and I have 1 of the LPE6. And I can take a 1,300 shots per one battery. Okay, so we finished our 7 reasons why I recommend about this camera, and now let's see the photos that I took with the last 2 weeks on the computer. Okay, so this is a photo of capybara that I took with the Canon 90D. This photo took in ISO 100 at f4 and shutter speed 320. You can see that with a 32.5 megapixel, there is a lot of details. The photo looked pretty cool and good and very, very quality. I really like the light in this image, and this is one of my best photos from the trip. Now let's look at this image of a crocodile that I took in a big lake. This photo took in ISO 100, f4, and shutter speed 125. This is also one of my favorite image because I like the plants and the leaves on the crocodile. I like the light. The crocodile is in the middle of the image. The photos look pretty sharp for me, and is also one of my favorite photos from the trip. Another photo that I take, this is a coati. This is one of my favorite animals to photograph because it's very cute. This is ISO 200, f4, and shutter speed 80. These animals are pretty cool and cute, so I really like to photograph them. You can see that because this camera have a lot of megapixels, so you can see a little bit noisier if you zoom very big, but I think this is pretty cool and good image. Another photo I took, this is a Chimango caracara. I really like in this photo the details and the light, like I say in the last photos. You can see that there is more details. This shot in ISO 100, f4, and shutter speed 400. Here I got the last photo for today, another Chimango Caracara, but now in this photo, like you see, he is flying. So you can see that this is not my best photos from the trip, but it's pretty cool image with ISO 100, f4, and also 400 shutter speed like the last image. So this is our last photo from today of Chimango Caracara flying. Okay everybody, we just now finished our video about how I summarize my experience of my new Canon 90D in the last 2 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed, please give me a like and a subscribe, and I really try to answer about all of the questions in the comments below. So if you have a question that or you want to ask me, please ask me in the comments below. So I hope you will enjoy me in the next video when I'm using in this beautiful Canon 90D. So see you later.